Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. The important news and editorial that would be relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. So what I'll be discussing for today is 7th of September. The first news is about the unemployment and how it is measured. This is from the text and context page of the Hindu. Second, we'll proceed with the G20. Basically this talks about the financial inclusion and the regulation for the cryptocurrency. This has been talked about during the G20 meetings that has been held. Now we'll see the part of the suggestions that was given by the RBI governor in terms of regulating the self-regulating for the fintech companies and even providing a services which is towards the customer centrality and not for the revenue generation. Now the second last, we'll have the details in the part where India dropped the tariff on the US lentils and almonds ahead of the US president visit to India. He's attending the part of G20 summit. And we'll conclude the session with the editorial, that is bridging the malnutrition gap and the Bimitara way. Something again important that will give you an insight. If you're writing in mains, you can use this as a case study. Apart from this, there will be MCQ based question at the end of this video. This question will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further ado, let's get started. And before I begin this session, if you are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do hit that like button. Starting the session, and before I start, just to tell you about the Nishchay All India Test Series program. This is a comprehensive program that will help you to excel in the UPSC CSE prelims examination. In this program, we'll be providing you 4900 plus questions. Along with that, there will be discussions, video discussion on that. Free magazine for content enrichment and demo classes. If you want to enroll yourself, you can use this QR code for instant registration, or either you can visit to our website for further details. So do check it out if you're preparing for UPSC prelims examination 2024. Now, starting the session with the first news, that is unemployment, how it is measured, and something important triviality that is related to the topic. This particular news is important for General Studies Paper 2, that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from its design and implementations. So if you look at the part in India precisely, we have a periodic labor force survey, which is better known as PLFS, और ये सर्वे के थ्रू इंडिया में रिपोर्ट की जाती है कि क्या अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट है. So we are actually making a comparison from 2017 data. So 2017, if you say the unemployment rate was at pretty high, which is 6.1%. So this was the number which was there. Now, as of 2021-2022, the latest data आई है from the periodic labor force survey, it indicates that the unemployment rate is 4.1%. So we have seen the changes, and this 2.1% changes, or you can say the 2% changes, is pretty comfortable with the part of the developed economies. Now, the US unemployment rate fluctuates from 3.5% to 3.7%. So these are the variables for the part of developed economy that they are performing. Now, before I proceed further, I just wanted to tell you what are the groups that is there in the labor market. This will also help you in the mains examination. कौन-कौन से ऐसे components हैं जो कि ज़रूरी होते हैं एक labor market के लिए. So for that, we have working age population. One, it is counted as a labor force, another is counted as not in the labor force, right? So these are the two categories. In the labor force, we have unemployed and employed. So unemployed, by word, it means that ones who do not have job, right? And employed, we have employed as a part-time freelance gig workers. And there's a full-time employment who is working either for government services, various sectors, even big doctors, chef, in any hotel, in any part of the industries, but they are getting a regular salary. They we call as an employee. Now, if you look at the part where the non-force is being considered, they're not looking for actually any reasons. They're retired individual or permanently unable to work. So these are the two broad populations, working age population, that is there in the groups of global market in the labor market. Now, apart from this, if you look at part India's unemployment ki baat kare, if you see this youth suffers, I mean from 2019 to 20, these are the data. During the part of the COVID-19, the number was pretty on the higher side for India, which was never that has been seen. Suddenly, it has been overcoming और काफ़ी हद तक प्रोग्रेस देखी गई है in the recent time. Now, if you look at the part where India, specifically unemployment rate की बात करें, these are the data where the number is pretty high. Look, Haryana has 26.8%. Then we have Jammu and Kashmir with 23.1%, Himachal Pradesh 11%, Rajasthan 26.4%, then West Bengal with 4.8%, and these are the performances for Jharkhand, that is 17.5%, और सेम गोज फॉर बिहार, दैट इज 17.6. तो ये कुछ नंबर्स हैं जो आपके मेंस एग्जामिनेशन के लिए भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा रेलेवेंट है. नाउ हाउ डज द मेजरमेंट ऑफ द पार्ट ऑफ द अंडर एम्प्लॉयमेंट विच इज देयर, व्हाट आर द कैलकुलेशन दैट वी हैव. So unemployment rate is measured as a rate of unemployment for the labor force, right? I have given you the part of the labor force. How does it work? Now, according to the data that is there from the National Sample Survey Organization, इन्होंने बताया that 33.3% of the rural women and 27.2% of the urban women aged between 15 and above are engaged in the domestic work. So this is a data which you can utilize for the mains paper. And even it represents 18.8% of the rural female population that is aged 15, and the labor force participations for the rural women was 26.5%. Now these women would have to be counted among the unemployed because they are not actively looking for work. Now lockdown के टाइम में इंडिया की अगर इफेक्ट की बात करें, how does the lockdown has actually impacted for the part of the working populations? So the lockdown has announced, that is in March 2020, was a profound disruption during the economy, and it was reflected with the PLFS unemployment rate, which covered the periodic saver between July on year to the next year. This is how the calculation is being done. And lockdown के time में ये बताया गया that last quarter it was 20, I mean for to the 1920, this has been seen after effect. कुछ improvement देखी गई है post, I mean lockdown, the things was improving. Measuring unemployment in India is due to the part of difficulties. यहाँ पे informal jobs is pretty on a higher side, तो यहाँ पे calculations में थोड़ी toughness आती है. And unlike the developed economies, individuals do not hold one job around the year. So it is also a flexibility with the individual which are changing their job over the time as per their convenience. Now, moving to the other news, that is G20 paves ways for crypto regulation and financial inclusion. This was a statement that was actually made by the finance minister and even by the topmost official in the countries with regards to the crypto regulation, which has been talked about in this context. So, bilateral regional grouping and agreement involving India and affecting India's interest. So G20 financial track की बात करें, I've already made a discussion that there are tracks, there are SEPA tracks, there are financial trade, there are extra tracks they're working. They have laid down a roadmap, और इस roadmap ये बताया गया है किस तरह से common framework होगी around the treatment for the cryptocurrencies, which will have presented in the leaders submitted in the upcoming summit. Now, these steps on the cryptocurrency would be implemented on a common framework that would be developed by the International Monetary Fund, Financial Stability Board, and the Bureau of Indian Standards. So this is how the things will actually functions. और cryptocurrency में regulations के लिए बहुत सारे ऐसे important agencies हैं जिनके regulations काफ़ी ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. Now, if you look at the cryptocurrency basics, the cryptocurrency, it's a digital money that is created from code. The cryptocurrency economy is monitored by peer-to-peer on an internet protocol, and the cryptocurrency is encrypted data that has hash encoded with the unit of the currency. Now, कुछ examples की अगर बात करें cryptocurrency की, there's Bitcoin, which has market cap of this much, Ethereum, and XRP. So these are the three main part of the cryptocurrency that is operating across the globe. Now, India's G20 presidency में बात करें किस तरह की progress देखी गई है for the part of cryptocurrency regulations. So India's G20 presidency could have a lasting legacy जहाँ पे financial architecture के लेकर के काफ़ी बातें हुई हैं, and even for the global template we have the crypto regulations asset steering a shake-up for the multi-development bank that could yield a financing of 200 billion over the 8 years that help countries for the emerging challenges, financial and the part of the financial inclusions. Now, other than this, G20 में leaders ने ये भी कहा that we need to devise out a solution where two pillars framework has to be there, and these two pillars will be working for the tax revenues for the multinational firm and global tech giants for the urban administrations along the world with the finance city and the development plan. It has brought the regulation for these assets on agenda for G20, whose role has gained a greater importance amid the financial sector was in 1999 and 2008. Now, what are the challenges that is there with the cryptocurrency? So first is the volatility predictions. We cannot figure it out how it is going to perform over the time. Automated trading is the other challenge. Mining is again the big challenge. If you see country like China, they have been complaining for this and they have been doing this for quite some time. And anonymity and the privacy is again an issue. Fraud detections, security is a big chunk where in India specifically RBI has already highlighted this concern, and price prediction something which is not stable in this context. So these are some of the major challenges with the cryptocurrencies. Now, moving ahead, RBI called for self-regulatory organization for the fintech, something important for General Studies Paper 3, that is Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization of resources, growth, and development. Now, RBI governor, while addressing the industries at the Global FinTech Fest, has said that the fintech players should form a self-regulatory organization in an orderly growth for the industry. This is what the RBI governor has categorically spoke about. And the fintech industries is projected to add a revenues of 200 billion by 2030. So this was a statement which was made by RBI governor, and something very important that even you can use in the mains examination as a part of the statement. Now, invoking the best practices, that is what the RBI governor has said, and the best practices include that the fintech players that need to evolve with the best practices, चाहे वो बात करें misleading advertisement की, उससे बचने की ज़रूरत है, stress on ethical practices, pricing transparency and taking care for the privacy and data protection concern, that should be the sole priority for the fintech companies. And RBI urged the fintech players to focus on customer satisfaction rather than the revenue and valuations. Beside customer centrality, fintech choose to pay attention to the governor and self-regulations. The governor has also said the digital innovations की अगर बात करें, they have also linked to cyber risk and data security related issues. So these are the important point that was highlighted by the Reserve Bank of India governor. Now, Indian fintech industries की अगर बात करें, Indian fintech industries has experienced a significant growth transformation in the recent year. According to the RBI governor, Indian fintech industries is projected to generate around 200 million of revenues by 2030, right? So definitely you can make out that how things are actually working out. And the projection indicates that by 2030, the country fintech sector could potentially contribute to 13% of the global fintech of the total revenues. और इंडिया ने बहुत हद तक काफ़ी अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस की है. जो डिजिटल पब्लिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है दैट इज कमिंग आउट with the part of the concept with India's stack is something very important. I've already made a discussion about India's stack. If you have not watched that video, do check it out. Now, if you see the unicorns that is working in India, there are good numbers of chunk that is there. Paytm, Razorpay, Pine Labs, Grow, BharatPay, Policy Bazaar, Cred, Digit, CoinSuisse, Jita, ChargeBee, Coin DCX, Echo, and Vedantu. So these are some of the companies with their valuations. Now, इंडिया में यूपीआई की अगर बात करें, दैट हैज़ ऑल्सो सीन अ ग्रेट प्रोग्रेस. 10 बिलियन की मार्क अगस्त में क्रॉस किया हम लोगों ने, एंड इवन दिस हैज़ बीन रिपोर्टेड दैट 10.24 बिलियन ट्रांजेक्शन विल बी देयर. और आने वाले समय में फॉर द नेक्स्ट couple of years we have been crossing 230 billion transactions on a month. और ये कुछ 2-3 सालों में ऐसी प्रोजेक्शन की गई है दैट इंडिया विल बी अचीविंग इट. So these are the data for the UPI transactions. If you look at the part, I mean, for 2020, for quarter that has been given, for 21, 22, I mean, for this is for 21, right? This is for 22 for quarter 1, and these are the performance subsequently. Now, moving ahead, removal of the retaliatory custom tariff on the US product, something important for General Studies paper 2, that is effect of policies of developed and developing countries on India's interest and India's diaspora. Now, summit, if you look at the part, India में G20 summit होनी है, that is scheduled for like 8th and 9th of this particular month. बहुत सारे डिग्नेटरीज आ रहे हैं एंड दैट यूएस प्रेसिडेंट विल बी ऑल्सो विजिटिंग. और इंडिया ने नोटवर्दी मूव लिया है, से दैट द रिटेलरी कस्टम्स imposed on the specific items like almonds and lentils will be removed, and this is effectively from September 6, 2023. Import duties की अगर बात करें, what is there for India? Like India has raised import duties to 28 products from the US in June 2019 after later has increased the custom duties and certain steel and aluminum products. The notification issued on September, the finance ministry dropped some of these tariffs, being satisfied and necessary in public interest to do so. Reductions in tariffs की अगर बात करें, what will be there in the reductions? So the Prime Minister of India has said that when he actually visited United States, जून में जब उनकी visit हुई थी, at that time only their resolution was there, जहाँ पे ये बोला गया था that WTO will unwind the part of the things that is there and the US product including walnut, almonds and apple. The Almond Board of California has welcoming move in a statement where import duties and the part of the shipment that will be there. This will be the price that have earlier was 35 kg in a shell and 100 kgs on a kernel. So shell is again the walnut की जो पूरी shell होती है उसके साथ prices अलग होती हैं, जो kernels होती हैं उसकी prices अलग होती हैं. तो उसमें changes की गई है. पहले ये 41 थी and earlier it was 120. Now this has been changed and now the price reduction will definitely help for the consumer in India as well. Now, moving to the editorial of the day, bridging the malnutrition gap in the Bhimatara way. This is in the part of Chhattisgarh. We'll see the details about this. Something important for General Studies paper 2, that is welfare schemes for the vulnerable section of the population by the center and the state government. So what I'll be discussing under this editorial. So the theme of this article is the malnutrition and its status, government measures, the lessons from Bhimatara's progress report and the way forward. So malnutrition की बात करें अगर इंडिया में, it has been a long standing problem और बहुत सारे ऐसे population group हैं जो malnutrition से ग्रसित हैं इंडिया में. The populations, particularly the children and women, are the more specific one who is suffering from the malnutrition in the country. और malnutrition gaps की अगर बात करें, this is between the nutritional need of and the population and the actual intake. तो जो ज़रूरतें हैं और जो actual में मिल रही है उस difference में जो problems आती हैं, the complication that is arisen is counted as a malnutrition gap. The gap is typically measured in terms of the key indicators such as stunning, wasting, underweight, and among the other prevalence of the anemia and the women's, right? The government measures की अगर बात करें, what are the government measures that has been there? There are quite good measures that is there. Government ने painstaking efforts ली है for this. We have midday meal scheme, something very important that has been a progress for the government of India. उसके अलावा public distribution system जिसे PDS कहते हैं, this has been work for a long time. Then we have आंगनवाड़ी centers. उसके बाद recent में पोषण अभियान और पोषण 2.0 भी गवर्नमेंट ने लाया जहाँ पे बहुत सारे इंपॉर्टेंट चेंजेस को लाई गई है. सो इफ यू आर राइटिंग इन मेंस, मेक श्योर आप ये गवर्नमेंट इनिशिएटिव्स के बारे में जरूर लिखें. Now lessons from Bhimatara. This is a place in Chhattisgarh that has been puzzling in terms of the malnutrition data. Severe acute malnutrition देखी गई है with a high of 3,299 for December. The figure bears a striking resemblance of the situation where tribal dominated and Naxal affected districts such as Bastar. और ये लैक ऑफ प्रॉपर नॉलेज ऑफ फीडिंग प्रैक्टिसेस की वजह से ये प्रॉब्लम और एक्सकलेट हो रही है. द प्रॉब्लम इज नॉट एक्सेस बट इम्प्रॉपर नॉलेज अराउंड देम एंड व्हाट टू ईट, व्हाट नॉट टू ईट, व्हाट फीड, आई मीन विच पर्टिकुलर फूड्स आर न्यूट्रिशनस एंड नॉट न्यूट्रिशियस. आपको ये जानना ज़रूरी है एंड दिस वर्क कैन बी ईजिली डन बाय आशा वर्कर, राइट? तो आशा वर्कर्स आर देयर टू हेल्प देम आउट. Now this is why the nutritional counseling become very important, which can again be done by the ASA worker, and there can be a modus operandi that should be there in this particular area. Now progress report की अगर बात करें, so the progress for the part of the nutritional counseling, we have seen that the progress is there, 53.77 for the targeted children that has been brought. वहाँ पे एक स्कीम है पोथा लेका अभियान, दैट इज न्यूट्रिशनल काउंसलिंग प्रोग्राम, जिसके थ्रू काफ़ी हद तक लोगों को मदद मिली है. 61.5 MAM children and 14.67 of the SAM has been brought in by the part of the malnutrition. These were both encouraging with the significant data. तो इम्प्रूवमेंट हुई है, बट वी नीड टू डिवाइज आउट अ सोल्यूशन विच विल गिव फॉर मोर कंक्रीट एक्शंस. Now, way forward from the experiences and highlighted, there is no doubt that the model needs to be replicated on the larger scale across the district and the states, providing with the poor needs, supported with the nutritional counseling, monitoring, and other to accelerate and eradicating of the malnutrition. It is important to know that the efforts has been made by the government and the non-governmental organizations to address the malnutrition problems integrated with the child development and the part of the health services, right? So these are some of the things that has actually been brought in by the government to ensure that things are put in the right place, right? So this is the way forward and conclusion part. Now, moving ahead with the MCQ questions. Before I proceed with the MCQ questions, you need to know the correct answer of yesterday questions. तो कल के जो सवाल थे उनके correct options. For first, the correct option is B. For second, the correct option is C. Today's MCQ for practice आपको Adopt Heritage Program 2.0 के बारे में बताना है. It's a public-private partnership that aims to invite people to adopt and restore the heritage in India. According to the program, corporate stakeholders are not permitted for their social responsibility funding and amenities across the historical site. So do check out for the correct option. The second question is about the following statement of kakapo or oval parrot. So it's a large nocturnal fighter parrot. It is found in Arunachal Pradesh in the state of India. It is listed as critical endangered species of IUCN list. So do check out for the correct option. This is all about for the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other queries, concern about the test series, program and courses, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching.